What is happening, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on the Speed 6. This will probably be broken up over a few days because it is during the week and I am really busy right now. But we're going to be digging in here and showing you guys what we've already done and what we're planning on doing next to try to get this thing back up and running. It's been a chase so far, so it's definitely been interesting and a learning curve for me, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so far we have checked all of the fuses, all of the relays, all of the grounds. We had reset the top dead, or put the car at top dead center and replaced the crank sensor at the 20th tooth, all of that, and nothing has worked. It cranks like as if there's nothing happening, just the motor turning. Doesn't sound like there's any spark, nothing. So now what we're doing is we're going to first do a compression test, and I'm pretty nervous about this one because I'm hoping that that is not the case, that the motor just lost compression. Because if you guys remember, the car did run for about 15 minutes and then I drove it a quarter of the mile down the street in the neighborhood and it just shut off on me. So I don't really know what happened or what it is. I solely feel like something shorted out, but it could be that we're off timing. So after the compression test, if that checks out well, which I'm hoping it does, we're going to put it back at top dead center based off of the crank, put the little timing bolt in the bottom side of the motor, and then we're going to pull the valve cover off and make sure the cams are also in time so we can rule that out completely. Now, if it's out of time, we're going to have to retime this motor, and we will get hot on that as soon as we can, because then we will know that that's the issue. I'm leaning towards it's something to do with the PCM or something shorted out, which is a nightmare because wiring sucks. So we're going to keep digging here. I'm going to start off with a compression test and work my way from there. Hi, is it your birthday? Is it your 6th birthday? You're 6 years old. Woo! Are you excited? Your brother's excited. You're excited, girl. All right, guys, so after further inspection and much help from my boy Chris Mazzy, he's up here in New York as well. Dude, I am at a complete loss right now because I am so confused as to what's going on, because take a look. Motor's at top dead center, and we got the cam plate on. We were thinking that it was off a little bit, but we ended up just putting a 21 mil wrench on the exhaust cam and just kind of wiggling a little bit, and the cam plate set in perfectly. So everything looks amazing and seems to be 100% in time. Nothing feels weird when you turn the crank over and kind of have like your compression stroke. You know, now I'm thinking with my boy Chris over here on the phone. Everybody go check him out. He's got a lot of Mazdaspeed stuff that goes on all the time. He's got a pretty gnarly Speed 6 and stuff too. He's on the phone with me because I'm just at a loss. He's been kind of brainstorming with me along the way when Justin is, you know, not available because he's busy. But this is entirely confusing. So what we're thinking is the compression tester that I used, which is over here, has this little O-ring at the bottom, but this isn't like the O-ring that we need. We're thinking it didn't seal all the way. Chris was mentioning that there's a fitting for a compression tester like this that actually seals properly to how our, I guess, spark plug holes are with the angle. So this one may have been not suited for the actual spark plug hole. So we're thinking that maybe it does have compression. It does have compression, but maybe that tester was just wrong. What do you think, bud?
I don't think the tester's going to seal on the spark plug holes, but that could be why we're getting zero compression. But I have no explanation of why we would possibly having zero compression or timing issues, because everything's tight.
everything looks good, so it doesn't make any sense. The only thing I can think of is PCM, and I'm just trying to figure out what... Oh, look at that thing.
And my buddy JP's got a really nice Gen 2 Speed 3 full bolt-on being RS4. Yeah, definitely. Got a beautiful Gen 2 Speed 3.
Sick. I got a soft spot for Gen 2s.
Doing some work today.
So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why the car would have shut off while driving. That's the biggest thing. It all comes back to that. My car started, ran fine for about 15 minutes, and then drove down the street and it just shut off.
Yeah. I mean, unless a harness came loose for your coil packs, or like a wire just randomly broke, I have no explanation for it other than what you're saying, fearing the PCM, or just, I don't know, these cars are so finicky. A bad ground could be the end-all be-all.
Exactly. And all the grounds look good. There's like no corrosion on this car at all. So it's like, blows my mind, dude.
Car's super clean. Car's cleaner than mine.
It's hard to do in the Northeast.
Oh yeah. You're screwed. You're fixing rust all the time. Cut your fenders off.
All right. Well, we're gonna try to dig deeper. We got to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna kind of troubleshoot some stuff. But I appreciate my boy Chris. You guys go follow him. I drop his thing down on the screen here. You guys can go give him a follow on Instagram. Real cool dude. Super helpful. So we'll get back with him later, and we'll kind of keep going and figure out what's going on here. Okay. So the car is kind of back together. Get the high pressure fuel pump back on, valve cover back on. Just got to plug in sensors, put the cam sensor back in. So the wires for the watt box that go to the ignition harness, I have a feeling that they weren't connected well. I'm not the best solderer in the world, and I'll admit that. Some people will cringe. But I think what I'm going to do for now is just unsolder that next wire, and I think I'm going to just try to connect the stock wires back together and eliminate the watt box completely, and then see if the car fires. If it does, then I just know that I need to solder the two joints better. So I'm going to do that. We'll get back to you, and we'll try to fire the car up, I guess. All right, I'm going to put this fuel fuse back in, and yeah, I'm gonna try to fire this thing up, I guess. Wish me luck. It's either gonna go or not, so it doesn't really make a difference. Guys, I have no idea what it is. I've tried a lot of different things. I am stuck. I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be the PCM. I've literally checked almost everything that it could be. I just don't understand what's going on, to be honest. All right, guys, so it's been probably over a week since I last picked up the camera. I've been really frustrated with the car, trying to figure out what's going on. We've done a series of things that I just haven't picked up the camera for, and I apologize. A lot of times I thought, man, I should get the camera and show them what I'm doing, but I was just, anytime I had, I just jumped out here and tried to do what I could. So last stuff you've seen, I was pretty frustrated as well, but we have tried multiple things. We have assessed the compression test. I was getting about 25 PSI per cylinder, which is weird that the car would just run fine and then just die. So we troubleshooted a bunch of things. I checked timing a bunch of times. There's a lot of stuff that it could be, but we narrowed it down to, just a few things. I mean, it needs air, fuel, and spark. So it's got spark. I tested the coils. It's got fuel because I can smell it. Just no air, I would assume, unless something else is messed up. I tried to do a leak down test. I bought a leak down tester. right here. And the problem is I don't have a air compressor at the house. So what I did is I filled a air tank with one of the air compressors at work and brought it here, and I was able to start testing cylinder 1, and it was going up and up and up and holding pressure. So I believe that cylinder is good, but I just ran out of juice in the tank. So I really need, if I want to do a leak down, I have to put the car back on the ground and put it on a trailer and bring it over to my work where I can have the air compressor. So I honestly don't know what it is. You know, the leak down shows a lot, and we'll be able to tell a lot more from there. It just cranks and sounds like nothing's there. I mean, it's in time. The car is in time. I mean, I've checked it twice with the cam plate and everything. I mean, it's there. It just doesn't sound like it's doing anything or wants to fire at all. So I don't know. And now when I start the car, try to start it while I'm cranking, if I have the fuel and injector fuse in, I start cranking, there's like smoke coming from back here, which I gotta figure out what it is. I don't know if it's my alternator that is smoking itself or if the harness back there is bad. And then in the midst of everything with the chargers hooked up to the battery and all that stuff, I smoked my MAC valve. So this thing pulses as soon as you plug it in. So that thing's shot. Yeah, just a nightmare right now, trying to figure this out. I mean, if I knew what it was, I would, you know, get it fixed. I would fix it. But I just not knowing sucks. And that's really where I'm at. And I apologize for being so quiet with the videos and stuff. I've just been really frustrated just trying to figure this out. I'm sure you guys have been there before or are there now, just working on something you're just super frustrated with it. You have to walk away a bunch of times because you just get so angry with it. And you know, I got a bunch of people helping me. We're digging through it, troubleshooting some stuff, and it's just like, dude, what is it? Just show it and I'll fix it, I promise. So we're gonna keep digging. I gotta probably get this thing over to the shop and do the leak down over there, because that'll tell us everything. I mean, if I gotta pull the head, I gotta pull the head. I'm not scared to do it. I just need to know. I don't want to pull it for no reason and you know, have it be nothing with the head. You know, I think I'm going to start going through the wire harness back here, because my buddy Rodney or Chris were saying that maybe the harness somewhere from the alternator to the crank position sensor got too hot. I also found, before I had the turbo blanket, I've never even used that, but I noticed this back here on the O2 sensor. It's kind of frayed because I peeled it back to see the wires. It doesn't look like the wires are melted or anything, but yeah, I don't know. I gotta look down in there and check it out. But I hope to have more of an answer for you guys here soon, but I just wanted to finish this video off to let you know where I'm at. And yeah, I mean, we've checked a lot, man. So I really don't know what else to check, to be honest, besides the leak down. Like, really, the leak down is going to show us everything. So like I said, I'm gonna do my best to pick up the camera more. I've been slacking the last like month, but yeah, we're gonna pick up the camera more and start, you know, just really diving into it. I'll give you more in-depth diagnosis videos, you know, as we figure things out. But I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the support. I've had an influx of messages in my inbox on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube as well. And I appreciate you guys for all the support. If you have any ideas, drop them down below in the comment, please. Most of the things that you're going to say, I probably already checked, but I'd appreciate the comment. But until next time, guys, we'll see you later.